Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My apologies for jumping on a few minutes late. I had a little bit of internet issues and I've been so busy and I'm not complaining about it, but just so many changes. And so I was running right down to the second. And then, of course, I have internet issues. So, doesn't it always work that way? I feel like that always works that way when you have spiritual blockages. And spiritual blockages are psychological and emotional. It's energy that's held in the body as stress, is what becomes our energy vibration. So, on this channel, I like to dive deep within the reading. So, I don't just look at hey, which person did do what they're going to do. I look at your spiritual blockages, what you need to look at, what you need to heal, how it will play out in your life. We can see how, the relationship played out. A lot of times you already know you're in the damn relationship. Hey, dark and lovely. Thank you for showing up. You know, I'm trying to like stay as consistent, but there's so much going on in my life. Trying to launch a coaching program. I'm in the middle of a lawsuit because my husband died last year and his partner just decided to kind of like screw me over. My husband had a business, so I'm dealing with that. I'm dealing with, you know, uh, business groups, which networking is not really my thing, but spirit always calls to us to change when we are trying to accomplish something, because when you're on your path, part of being on your path is spirit's going to bring you situations, experiences to changing your mind and your heart about how you perceive yourself. But at first you need to understand that you have a blockage, right? A lot of times we don't know that we have a blockage. We see the blockage because it's a similar karmic theme that continues to play out. And you might have a karmic theme within your relationship where you're like, oh, I already know what they're going to do. They always do that. Or, of course, they would do that because that always happens to me. These are some ways that you know that you have a stronghold. And a stronghold is really what creates a spiritual blockage. It's kind of like when you're vowing yourself, like there's never enough time or money. Never want to say that because your words are spells. Your words are frequencies that go out into the universe. And a lot of us were taught wrong. My mother thought it was fun to make fun, thought that it was funny to make fun of herself all the time. Like, because it was the way that it was like an icebreaker for her because she had anxiety. But my mother was always able to make people laugh. She was always able to make people fall in love with her, but she didn't love herself. However, her way was to say, oh, I'm such an idiot. Oh, like, yeah, like there's something wrong with me, And when people say that in a joking way, there's a part of them that really feels that way. And there's a lot of pain underneath that. So even though my mother was disguising it, and I'm just using her as an example. We all know people that tend to overcompensate within their behaviors. When you're connected to someone on a spiritual level and they want to sit there and pretend that they don't know you exist. What about that one? When you're like, okay, all of a sudden you don't like me from yesterday. You were just talking to me yesterday. You see my fucking Facebook post and you're going to like pretend that it's not there. Like it's so much effort to give me a like. Oh, you know what I'm saying? It's like over compensation because again that feels awkward. I can't show my feelings, can't show my emotions. So we can see when a person has a blockage. We want to know how to off center that blockage. We want to know why it happens in our life, and that's because you have a wound. And so you need to integrate the spiritual lesson and then actually transmute the negative energy. So obviously the readings have a therapy style to them because hello, it's like it's not just yes or no or about what this person's going to do, what they did do. Because hey, that really puts you in like a anxiety place. It gives that person a lot of power. Now, if a person is connected to you on a spiritual level, it's not about like. It's not about love. If the person has that feeling, what happens is that it gets damaged. It gets damaged because the person has blockages. So it's like, yeah, I know that person bad feeling, but if that's the way that it fucking looks, I don't want it. It's like, and that is what corrodes the relationship, and that's what ruins the relationship. It becomes intimacy issue. Second chakra imbalance. Second chakra is all about your unique individuality, who you perceive you are. So when you connect to a person that doesn't feel comfortable in their who they are, well, spirit's saying, well, if the shoe fits, wear it. And you'd be like, mine doesn't look like that. And spirit says, yeah, there's only two energies, love and fear, though. So you might just have like some insecurities and wind up with someone that really is insecure. And usually that's the way that it happens because you wouldn't know the difference. People tend to compensate. So let's see what the underlying energy is and let's see what you need to look at just for you without this person, we'll look at that. But again, a lot of times you see the blockages play out within your relationship, right? You see how that is. So you're like, you already know. Well, you see the blockage, but you don't know the behaviorism. So you don't know everything. So look at this exquisiteness, unstructured. I like that. And aggressive. So, I feel like the way that you do things, this is about your identity. Hey, they broke the mold when they made you. And that's not like, oh, you have a big ego. No, this is like the way that you do things, the way that you look at life, the way that you interact, the way that you are is different. So when you meet a person that's exquisite, well, that it's gonna stir up a lot. It's like, first of all, exquisite. That's exquisite. It's not even beautiful. It's beautiful, but it's unique. And it's unique in a way that is gonna trigger other people, unfortunately. You know why? Because exquisite means, hey, that's your identity. This is who I am. So you may be someone that's someone that's really creative, maybe a interior designer or a decorator, or someone that's great with fashion, someone that's a spiritual person, someone that, the way that you do things is really what spirit is saying is your approach is unstructured because it's your own way, and that means the path unfolds while you're on it. You're not deciding how to go. So the thing is, when people find that they admire somebody, what they try to do is emulate, right? When you like someone, and everyone was like, I like Madonna, and they were walking around with the bangles up to their armpit, and the sunglasses and the belt. There was a girl I went to high school with that she was an Indian girl, and she decked herself out down to the mole of Madonna. Okay. Like, you want to emulate because it's like, I like that. I want that more of that energy. Well, the thing is, in truth of the matter, if it's a pop star, hey, yeah, that's what people like. So they have to fit to that, and then they get their creative expression after they're making the money. If you notice, they stay the same for a few years, and then all of a sudden they rail off because, hey, I'm afraid that you're not going to like me. This is not that. This is, I don't give a fuck whether you like me or not. This is who I am, and the path unfolds while I'm on it. So you can't be duplicated. It's, again, God makes one person that, we're all different in our own way, our own approach, but again, somebody that actually breaks the mold. And I feel like it's that way. So even though, you're doing something amazing, you get people that get triggered by you. And the reason why is because, hey, it displays a lot of confidence. It brings out people's little green monster. Again, makes them have to look at themselves. Why can't I do something that looks that good? Why can you support yourself? Why can it brings out a lot of that, even if you're like, I don't have anything. The only thing I have is my job or my home or whatever it is that makes you unique, that makes you exquisite. It's like the one thing that you have, and it's exquisite because you put all your time and your energy and your focus and your money into it. So it's something that's manifested. So I'm just feeling like the underlining energy is that. And it'll also be that way if you're sensitive to that energy. So you may say, well, I've had aggression where I make people jealous. I don't know how, I just do because of the way that I am. And I don't really feel that I do anything different. Well, that's the thing, that you're not seeing your worth. Other people see your worth, that you're actually intimidating. And so you get what you need, remember. So the issue isn't about, um, who you are and what you're doing. It's about other people, trust other people, that connection, that intimacy, that trust, about fitting in, and that's really what you're called to, like, I feel like heal. Being responsible with your sexual energy is wise. So you're not someone that sleeps around a lot. People that are exquisite usually are creative, and they're usually channeling a lot of their energy towards creating, which makes you different. Like I said, you put a lot of energy and time to it, what you're doing. So people don't see that. They only see what's on the surface. So you might be someone that makes it look so effortless. You make it look so that way. So this is, take a walk in nature today and consciously connect with Mother Earth. Stay grounded. Stay grounded while you're going through this. So I feel like you're being called to, like, network. You're being called to, like, have to deal with more people. Maybe it's within a job. It's like, but if you're not strong within yourself due to old wounds, that's gonna come up. You wouldn't believe what I just learned. Keep, thank you, dark and lovely. All right. So this is what Spirit's saying that you need to look at right now. Like, it's about, like, taking time out. It's not about work, 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 even though you may feel like, no, I need to accomplish. Spirit's saying working is also networking, connecting to people on a heart basis, that you're a real person. And yes, you do trigger people because, hey, that you're different, the way that you do things. So it's going to take confidence. Spirit saying, I give you this situation to help you walk the walk that you're supposed to walk. And if you're supposed to be a leader, this is the way that it goes. It's unfortunate because it's going to bring up a lot, but Spirit says grounding, because you can only grow your business through yourself, through you're doing so much. That also takes relationships, connections. That's why they always say, oh, it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's like, and if there's a blockage there, that, well, Spirit says, well, in order to get to the next level, that's going to be a spiritual walk, because everything that's happening on the physical realm is happening because spiritually you need it to happen to help change and grow you when you have spiritual blockages. And we all have spiritual blockages. And people that are usually sitting in my chair have more blockages than you. That's why we have the job that we have. It's just the way that it goes. So Spirit saying, slow down, relax. Why do you think that? Because you get overstimulated. And what do you think creates the problems? Already, if you're looking for problems, because, hey, you've been bullied before, people don't like you, people create problems, so you're already like, what the fuck is this place that I got to go and network? What is this? Is the Spirit says that, like, we don't want to do that. We want to get into a place of maybe saying affirmations that, hey, I like myself, I'm a likable person. Like, there is a sense of, because of what you've been around, somebody, whether that was a parent, whether that was a boyfriend, whether that was, again, and usually it's both, or girlfriend, that makes you feel that way. What it creates, the overstimulation, is that not being grounded. What's going to happen? What might happen? And Spirit says, don't look for things. Understand, be confident. And the only way that happens is to get more grounded, take time out and relax. Is like, remember, overstimulation. And when you have overstimulated and you get triggered and you're like, I don't know, I always feel like I say the wrong thing, or like it's an important time and that's when I get in my own way. It's that overstimulation and it's created from other people because people see, hey, you're different, you're exquisite, you get a lot of attention, you're doing something that you're doing something or you have something that I would like to have. So I'm going to knock you off your pedestal. And you're like, yeah, why the hell do I get that? And Spirit says, because, hey, again, you got to be strong. You might be an empath, it's a highly sensitive person. So you're like, yeah, I hate that. And so Spirit says, yeah, but in order to get to the next level of work, you're going to have to, because it's about relationships and those bonds. And that you really are a likable person and a lovable person once people get to know you. It's like it's maybe a little like standoffish in the beginning because it's like, hey, I don't really trust. And Spirit says, when you're like that, you're going to attract people that you can't trust. So you're right that you can't trust because that's how you are. And so, it's fear. There's only two energies, love and fear. So we have to heal what's blocking us in order to like heal the intimacy issue, because that's what it talks about here. It's a bigger thing. It's not just like, oh yeah, I have people that just bully me or get annoyed with me or just are assholes to me. Spirit said, "No, you got to go deeper than that. It's like how it makes you feel. It's like, well, it makes me feel inadequate. It makes me feel like maybe rejected or abandoned." And Spirit says, yeah, now we're talking. It's like, because then you're going to see that unfold within relationship and opportunities. So it's a big deal. It's not like I'm just talking to talk. It's like, so you can say that we're again looking at your wounds, and then we can see how it plays out within your relationship. But once you change the dynamic of you, you change the dynamic of your relationship, because the dynamic of the relationship, it can only play out if two people are doing what they're doing. And that's why there's many different realities that play out at one time. And you're the alchemist of your life. So, we can predict the future, but shit, if we don't like the future, I'm not fucking living that. It's like not doing it. Broken trust. That again, intimacy at its basic foundation is trust. And it happened because betrayal at a young age. I know that. But it shows up as difficulty relying on others, fear of betrayal, a tendency to just it's from past issues, that this wound creates a lingering fear of being hurt again and can manifest as doubt in others and their sincerity. So that's why Spirit says, don't be going into your networking events looking for problems, you know because you're intuitive and maybe you feel that way, but hey, we got to look at things from a higher perspective. And so Spirit's saying, but you need to trust comes from trusting yourself. Spirit says, we don't trust any other person. It's not about that, because people are coming from their level of consciousness. And a lot of times they don't mean to be that way. They can't help what they feel. You're meeting people at all different levels of consciousness, Spirit saying, and that's what you're going into. And you have to do it for work. You have to do it for your money. You need to do it. There's something that you're connected to on the heart that's requiring you to do it. Again, your job is to give and receive of love through your free will. You have a block in your heart chakra. So we already know the relationship is not going to be that great, with trust issues and betrayal issues. And like Spirit says, don't be looking again. Get grounded. Get grounded. Inner child wounds. Again, Louise knew that, though it happened in childhood. I said it. It just shows up as unresolved emotional pain, unmet needs, or a sense of unlovable from childhood, manifests as self-sabotage. Right there. Self-sabotage in shame. Not believing one's deserving, not because that's really what you believe, but that's because you lived it. So you embodied that consciousness, which is why the transmutation process is always to embody a new consciousness. You can't get rid of negative energy. You can only change it. You're the alchemist to transmute it. So again, look at this self-sabotage, getting in your own way. So how would that happen? Overstimulation, going into the place looking for issues, sensing everybody out. Hey, hypervigilance might have been if there's inner child wounds. Hey, that was a survival mechanism. And Spirit says, well, again, you need to learn to shut it off. It's again and just focus on yourself. Again, as long as you don't abandon yourself, be true to you, show up. You can extend love. I extend love to people that I know that probably don't definitely don't deserve it. But you know what? My strength doesn't come from how they treat me. My happiness doesn't come from how they treat me. And I have so much of it, I extend it to everyone. And the people that come into my life, they come into my life and they stick. And then you always have people that don't really stick. They just come in for a season. And so Spirit's saying, as long as your cup is full all the way and you're grounded in yourself and true to yourself, it's not about trusting another person. It's about trusting that you know how to navigate that. Because every single person that we come in contact with is going to be wounded and you would have no friends left, eventually, Spirit's saying, or everybody would be a problem, the same theme plays out. So Spirit saying again, because it's something that you're connected to that makes you feel like the projection from others. So what did I tell you? You're exquisite. You're different. You're going to get underneath people's skin. And you're going to say, I don't do anything. It's all projection. And it is all projection. That's what that is. So these are the things that you need to look out for with just solely you. But if those are the issues, then you're also going to see those issues play out within your relationship, is what Spirit was saying earlier. So we want to heal that, and we'll look and see how you can alchemize that. But we're going to see now how the relationship is playing out and understand. But if we see these type of blockages, you might be like, what relationship? It's not working, Impatient. So when I tap into them, they're like, they know who you are. Knowledge and wisdom, to me, this is my soulmate card, because it's again the sacred geometry, the dove. It's like I finally know who you are. There's a sense of that, but it's like there's a realization that you're not coming back, or they feel like you're not coming back, or you're not changing, whatever it is, and they're starting to get really like it wasn't bothering them before. Now it's bothering them. They're like, isn't it by now you should have been back? And so, who are you talking to? If you're not talking to me, come back, because this person remembers you as being someone that's like really loyal, really someone that's kind of a little bit more serious when it comes to relationships, that you're not just gonna, like, you put your heart into it. There was a spiritual connection. They might have not, logically known what that meant, but they felt that connection and that it's undeniable. And I feel like that energy has changed. So it's again, where's your energy? Where is your energy? Like this person's finally saying, well, if I find you attractive, other people are obviously going to find you attractive. So there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of anxiety that's coming up with this person. Now, let's see. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Or are they going to do anything? I abandoned people to make myself feel more important. So I feel like this person came in and out of your life, or they tended to give enough, but that's all about their insecurity. Because again, they want to seem as important, and people don't say, I want to feel important. unless they feel inadequate, unless they feel weak, unless they feel like that people don't just, get, have surface relationships, unless they don't want you to see all of that. I'm afraid of commitment. So again, what do we say? Rejection and abandonment. Like, so you can see at one time, if you experienced it, which you have trust issues and you have trust issues, and this person is going to add to those trust issues. I want to work things out. And it's like, I feel like that spiritual connection is still there though. Does that mean that they know how to deal with it? It's like, no, they don't. Fights, arguments, conflict. And it's like this person wants things their way. It's like I still want you in my life. I didn't think that it was over because hey, they came in and out. There's a sense of again, I abandonment isn't just leaving forever. It's I don't show up for people on an emotional level. I like they abandon people again where they want to feel needed. You need to chase them. You need to, and that's due to their inadequacy. They want to feel powerful, needed, loved. So they create the environment, which is self sabotaging. So again, what they would want to come in and, have things their way just automatically. And, that's not going to happen because you're going to want to talk about, why they do what they do, and that's the thing. So that they don't really want to do that. They have anxiety. I dive in and out of relationships normally. That's what this person, again, they're like, they've never had this type of relationship before. I feel like I can't give you what you need. So that's what it is. On an emotional level, this person, it doesn't mean that they don't have feelings for you, but it's a lot passion. It's a lot. I feel like you were real with this person. You were someone that was, again, a little bit too serious for this person. Like, again, very focused on career or creating whatever the exquisiteness is. This person did not think that they were going to get affected. They're affected. And they're like, well, I didn't really think that you would let go because it was real. It was because of who you were, not who they were. So now that they're gone, but on an emotional level, they know that they can't give you what they need because they would have to heal their shit. I mean, that's the bottom line. They would have to heal it. And I don't think that this person knows how to do that. It's again where this person just has a hard time of letting go of the past and the fears that are associated with it. So they always play out as chaos in their relationship, but they don't realize that they're the ones that are doing that. It's self-sabotaging behaviorism. And by the way, you being connected to a person like this and even considering being with a person like that is self-sabotaging to you because Spirit's saying it's like that it's habit. It's habit. As long as a person doesn't love who they are, they're going to be looking for the answer outside of themselves. And because we feel empty when we don't love ourselves and we don't like ourselves, every time you have to deal with somebody or a new situation, it calls for you to have some sort of self-esteem. And so what we see here is that this person doesn't have it. So if you get close to them for long periods of time, you're going to see that. Again, so they didn't want you to see that part. They're wounded. They need to heal. Now, I don't care what they showed you. You're like, no, they're successful. Then they might be successful in an area of life where maybe they can make money and they can make it look good, but it's the mask that they wear. They're going to lead with that, but there's nothing underneath that. There's nothing, there's a bald man behind the green curtain, pulling strings, making pretend that it's the Oz. It's not really what you see. And so as long as you're going to be with a person like that, they're going to undervalue you because at one time they were undervalued. So they have to elevate who they are. And part of that is creating the illusion in spite that they had feelings for you. It's because this person has, like, they're a cheater. They've always been a cheater. Again, undervalued. You're going to fight for the relationship. And people that hang on actually do fight for the relationship. They create, triangulation. Whatever, I think that's how you say it, where it's, but look how desirable I am. Please. That's not who you are. You're exquisite. Again, you're doing shit. They didn't think, again, that was boring energy before, you know? So that's the issue. And that's this. We see it again, withdrawal. Oh, look at this. And this person, again, on an emotional level, they don't just not feel good about themselves. Well, they don't do anything to fix that. What they do is they suppress their emotions with, people diving in and out of relationships and substances. So there's someone that's really imbalanced, and that, yes, I'm attracted to you. Yes, we have a connection, but I can't give you what you need. I can't, and the thing is, I can't trick you either. Hey, this person does not care. They don't form a relationship normally long enough to care, but they can't get over. And I feel like, being that they came in and out of your life for a while, they didn't realize that they built an emotional connection because, hey, you weren't talking about, you know, bullshit. You're doing things, you're different, you're exquisite, you're different. Like, again, so yes, it's triggering to a lot of people on the outside, but to that intimate connection to a person that has never had that before, well, it's because that's a need to want that. It's a soulful thing to want that love, that connection, that realness. So again, it's there, but this person doesn't know how to deal with that energy, can't handle it, doesn't know what to do with it. All they can think about is, oh, satisfaction, love, and the good stuff. If you know what I'm talking about, it's all about elevating the mood. So, like, people are endorphins a little bit, where it's about that, the passion. It's about, which is the addictive behavior. The intimacy is the issue. So, and it's just like, listen, it's very complex, is what Spirit's saying, and it's a catch 22. If you were gonna, like, deal with them, and it's a catch 22 for them as well. They need to heal. That's what Spirit's saying. It's They're not going to do anything, you know. And Spirit saying, and it's all about you actually starting, like, a new beginning for yourself, like, that's going to help move you into rapid growth. That's going to help you. um and where I feel like this has birth a child, but I think it's, again, birth something. That exquisiteness, whatever you're working on, is going to birth something, is going to create something. And Spirit says, this person isn't part of that. They're not part of that. They're needy. They're emotionally needy because they don't like who they are. So the relationships that they go into, it's all about them. They're someone that's very selfish. They don't, and it's because they're not healed. So you have to say, well, why the hell would I attract a person like that? Like, why would they do that to me? Why would they come into my life? It's because they have feelings. It's not like they don't have feelings, but hey, if I can have my cake and eat it too, why not? It's like, this person thought that it was going to eventually be like that because, hey, you had a strong connection. They didn't think you were going to let go. Most people that give a long time, eventually you're going to give in. You didn't. You let go. They have feelings. They don't know how to deal with those feelings. It's, again, they've never been put in this position. They dive in and out of relationships. They're all about the illusion. They're all about, but it doesn't mean that that there's not inside of them, that they're a real person, that it needs love, wants love. That's why spirit did that. Spirit's like, you've been living out of balance for a long time. So I'm going to bring this different energy into you. But it doesn't mean that their ego isn't like running the show. Their ego is running the show, saying, no, I don't want to do that because it's scary. You might leave me. It's easier for me not to check out and live from a lower energy. You know, I ask, is a person ever gonna do anything? It's like this person, like I don't see it. It's like, because there's actually someone that's on the back burner that has thought to be in this person's life, that has been in this person's life, but understands, has been only been getting breadcrumbs. So, they now, again, if you're going to be with a person like this, they're never going to be in a relationship with you. So it's almost like, whether it's a lot of different people on the back burner that this person's talking to, or whatever. Otherwise, this person would come to you, but they're in their ego. They're like, I can't give you what you want. This is the life I want to lead. I want to drink. I want to dive in and out of relationships. I don't want to deal with problems. I have problems that you don't want to look at. So that's that. Sorry. I couldn't even make that look nice because there's nothing to work with there. So it's going to be blunt. It's going to be blunt one today. But Spirit says, well, it's more about understanding why you attracted that person into your life. What the hell? And what to do with that energy. And to recognize the energy the next time. So Spirit saying, your mirror of what comes into your life. So that might mean this person was really cocky and they thought eventually that you were going to give in, and because you were so crazy about them and you were a real person, they knew that you weren't someone that like runs around. So how could you like stay connected to them? You would eventually agree, and you were like, bye. This person's like, that wasn't supposed to happen. You were supposed to be affected by it. You're not affected by it because they feel like, hey, listen, you already grew up in an environment where you felt unworthy and emotionally you didn't get what you needed. So, you learned how to love yourself, but that was a journey. It was something that you needed to learn because you didn't have it from growing up in an environment where you felt unworthy and there wasn't like the emotional security. If anything, didn't feel safe. Children need the emotional stability. They need it. It's not a want. It's not a luxury. They need it. Otherwise, they don't feel safe. They don't feel safe. And if anything, like here we see, like you feel suppressed. And then what happens is that it made you feel like, is it me? Is there something wrong with me? Is there something like you were made to feel that way? But understand it's because when a person grows up in an environment where they're emotionally not getting what they need. And if anything, they're being suppressed by words, usually unworthiness. It's like a person can show you that through their actions too, but a lot of times it's done through words. Then what winds up happening is it's like, well, is it me? Then you go out into the world and you meet the same types of relationships along the way where you're like, I don't know, is it me? Did I do anything? Where Spirit's like, no, you're just different. And you're like, well, I'm different, like in a bad way. No, Spirit says it's actually in a very good way. However, it's again, people are going to project. We saw that. And you grew up in an environment, if you grew up in an environment like to be made to feel unworthy and suppressed, well, that was done to a parent. It's again, that's how they grew up. And so they passed those same things down to you, but nevertheless made you feel like there's something wrong with me. And Spirit's saying because you never felt safe, you never felt emotionally safe. So understand that's why Spirit said, hey, part of your healing is to go back and network and to, hey, meet other people because it's going to take you to the next level, whether that's more money, more opportunity. And so people are not your thing because you grew up in that type of environment. It doesn't mean that you don't like people or you don't help them, but they can be overstimulating, or a lot of times, like you said, you attract people that just get triggered by you, and then you got to deal with that, and you would rather not deal with it. And Spirit says you have to, because it's part of your healing. And the reason why is because of that, and that will continue to play out. And that's how you got to do something with the energy. What are you going to leave it there? You're going to say, I know what the problem is, but you're just leaving it there. Spirit says that's not going to work, because I'm just going to keep bringing you people like that. You don't change your environment, you change you. Spirit says, again, we don't trust other people, we trust ourselves. Only in the now do you get divine guidance through gut, intuition, inner knowing. Spirit says, I'm always with you. The illusion that there's separation between you and your creator is that it's an illusion, and it's habits and behaviorisms due to perceptions that you've lived, which is why we're doing this reading the way that we are, and the Spirit says, so what are you going to do with the energy? Because you have to do something with it. It's like you're not inadequate. You're not nothing where that suppression was. You're not inadequate. You're not misunderstood. You're not any of that. You feel that way. Again, because that's a belief, because you were made to live in that type of environment. But you have to clear it. You have to do something with the energy. The Spirit saying, it's not working for me. It's a time for transformation. Turn the fears into strength. It's like, and the Spirit says, you're moving into profound change, into the exquisiteness. Like I said, the people actually appreciating what you do, because that's what happens. You again heal, and as you walk through it, again, you got to walk on the fire coals. That's the symbolization of the fire coals. When you people, why are they walking on hot coals? Because they learn how to get through the uncomfortable situation by breathing through it, by meditating, meaning like you can get through anything if you train your body. But understand, if you grew up in an environment where you were, needed to be on, overstimulated, Spirit saying that you're not going to get through it that way. You're going to get triggered. It's going to affect you emotionally. It was like, so, and that's sabotaging. That's self-sabotage, because you're going to be wound up like a clock. Spirit says, slow it down, relax, rejuvenate, your nervous system, train your nervous system. Spirit says, it's again, because that's what it's about. It's about changing you, and so that again, it's all experiences, good and bad, shape your soul's evolution. So Spirit says, you got the situation to help you see things, to learn and to grow. Is Spirit saying now? Spirit says, believe it or not, you may say, well, the money. And Spirit says, no, it's not money. Is you need to go out into the world and meet people. It says, again, we go back to the networking in the beginning. Spirit says, you're going to meet your tribe. You're going to meet people, because you don't need to face your fears alone. You get support. You get support because, again, the fear of I'm alone. I didn't emotionally get anything. I was suppressed. I didn't get the support. Spirit says, again, we have to reparent ourselves. And what you'll see is you're going to meet good people too. People, yeah, you'll meet some assholes, but everybody does, Spirit says. But you will also meet some really great people that are going to help you, again, which Spirit is saying that's what it is. So come on, take the leap of faith. You got to go outside your comfort zone. Risks are going to be rewarding at this time. So it'd be like, it's nothing that I would do. I would never do any of that. And how well is your life working? It's like Spirit says, don't do my job, do your job. Be like childlike. Have fun. Use what's in your environment. I'm in charge of how we get there. Spirit says, you're not, because I am the one that controls the universe. I made the universe. God made the universe with its voice, so it knows exactly what it needs to bring you. So you're not in charge. Spirit says we don't change the environment, we change ourselves. Otherwise, you just pull in a geographical because you bring yourself with you. So the same behaviorisms, the same things will continue to play out, which make you feel like, oh my God. And Spirit says, yeah, you're in a karmic loop, and that's a stronghold. And that when you live in that level for a long period of time, where this is what always happens, Spirit says, that's how you attach negative spirits to you. You're a spiritual being having human experiences. So negative spirits come from that, from when you begin to live like that, where Spirit's saying you have to reparent yourself. Because again, goes back to the beginning of the reading, which Spirit's saying there's things going to happen for you, opportunities. Spirit says this is about fulfilling your promise to humanity. Why are we here? God says you're here for a purpose. You're not here by mistake. You're here by my design. You're here to give and receive of love through your free will. What is it? It's going to be exquisite. It's going to be different. It's going to be unique. It's an unfolding process. It's going to trigger a lot of people too. So Spirit says, yeah, you got to get a little stronger, like emotionally. And Spirit says, because guess what? That childhood wounding is still there. And it's again, and that can be self-sabotaging to you. Goes back to the beginning of the reading. Spirit says, this is at stake, but you're going to alchemize it. It's again turning the pain into power, opportunities. Spirit says that's what you're supposed to do with that energy. If you don't do anything with the energy, you get cancer because you are an energy being. Sickness and disease is created in the mind. Again, that's what it is. You're only in physical form to learn and to manifest. Learn that there's no separation between you and your creator, number one. And number two, to be the expression of love by doing what you love, giving and receiving of love, connecting through the heart. But when there's betrayal at a young age, and you didn't feel safe because you weren't supported or nurtured, and so Spirit's saying, yeah, it's not that easy. This is a big deal, but better connection to the physical body. Spirit says, you're not just going to alchemize it by, oh, yeah, we alchemize it. No, Spirit says, yeah, you channel it by your what you're creating, but how are you going to deal with the stress? And that's yoga, body, mind, medicine, because the story told us, hey, that's inner child healing. That's a long time. A person has been rewired this way. So they need to rewire their body. The body keeps the score. The body is your mind's faithful servant, whatever it told it. So it's a long time. And it worked for a certain amount of time till it doesn't work, Spirit says, because we can't handle things the same way. Because this is going to require us to be grounded. This is going to require us to be present. This is going to require us to not look for problems, to kind of keep the focus on what you're creating, what you're doing, the exquisiteness of you, not whether or not she didn't like what you said, because you don't know. She might just be in a bad mood. Well, is a bad mood about me? Spirit's saying, again, that's your hypervigilance. It's again, you don't want that. It's again, focus, boundaries, and being invested in a lot of things and meeting a lot of different people. This way, trust is something that's acquired over time. Relationships are formed over time. People that come in super fast, a lot of times they come in to see what's going on. What's going on in your cookie jar? And now I'm going to report back to everybody else. It's like, so no one you won't have time for that. Spirit says, we don't want you to have time for that. We want you to have time to create. Again, you're on your path. You're alchemizing this inner childhood wounds, which means you're birthing something. You're creating something. This is what you're entering into. Only you can stop you. But again, know what your challenge is. And Spirit says, get grounded. It's like, again, and you get grounded and connect through joining a bunch of different things, Spirit says. And that's going to balance you out with your time. boundaries of that. I'd love to, but I really can't. I have an event. And sometimes he can say that and not have an event. I have an event at 9 o'clock with the TV set and my couch and my dog and maybe a bowl of fucking pasta. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but I'm going to schedule me time. I'm going to schedule like like business things or whatever that is that's going to help you grow your business, grow yourself, spirit saying, because the opportunities are there. Infinite possibilities are for you. So don't look for the problems, because again, that's in the past. Spirit says it's not in the now, and only in the now do I give you divine guidance. So get back in your body, stop again in your head. And that's the thing. This person's karma is, I think, to watch the fact that, hey, you're going to walk into a whole other life and they're not going to be invited, you know, and they get to stay in their shitty energy, and where they right now they can pretend that at any time that they can come back to you, but eventually they're going to see your blow up, things are happening, and that there's no way in hell that you would take them back, because your spirit says you're on the path to light. You're making the conscious choice to move towards the light one step at a time, and you're transforming your weaknesses into strength by mastering your thoughts. Overcome obstacles with positivity and acceptance, and develop your gifts and extend your light to every being unconditionally. And that's what you're doing. Spirit's saying that's the path is, again, whatever you're birthing, whatever you're creating, whatever you're putting your energy to. Spirit's saying, and that's why a whole other life is gonna go up. And that's that person's karma, because they want to stay in this low vibe energy, like, yeah, we have this connection, but I don't think I could give you what I need. And it's easier for me to live on a lower vibration. Well, eventually, God says, they're not going to feel that way, because it's not like they don't have feelings. They just, until they actually see your life and what you birth, they can say, well, I'm okay. But it's their ego that has to get disrupted. And of course, their ego is going to see that you live a much better life and have a lot of opportunities. And this person's all about their ego. Remember, they dive in and out of relationships for this, fake bullshit of seeming important, where guess what? They're going to see, wow, you really are important. That's the kicker. And so they could have been a part of that, but they chose the lesser route. So they actually did you a favor. I feel like you dodged a bullet. I'm going to leave that there. You let me know how you resonated. I'll answer any questions now. Thank you. I am Pete Wilson and Lisa Flame. Hi, you won't believe what I just learned. I don't know whether that was spam or that was really someone that wanted to tell me something, but I'm feeling like it was spam. Thank you for your energy, and thank you guys for tuning in. I'll be back on tomorrow. I actually have to do a reading. I usually don't have to go to a person's house, but I said I would. So, I will be on tomorrow. Bye.